Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's Game 2 of this 3-game series. The Astros meeting the Arizona Diamondbacks. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. A well-pitched game went to the Diamondbacks last night, 3-1. They've won 4 straight from the Astros this year, JD.
Yeah, Keuchel was good last night. Youth, the theme for our pitching matchup tonight. It's 23-year-old left-hander Patrick Corbin. He's a rookie. He goes for the Diamondbacks in and out of the rotation this year. Lately, really good. Last 3, 2-0 with a .189 ERA. And 21-year-old Jordan Lyles for the Astros. He, too, has been good of late. 0-1 in his last 2 starts with a .257 ERA. Bunch of ground ball outs last time, not just a .208 batting average in those last 2 starts.
Well, these 2 pitchers also been limiting what the opponents have done. We'll see how it works for Corbin tonight, and Lyles coming up next. Okay.
Yeah.
Where am
on field level as we get set for the second game between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Houston Astros here in Minute Maid Park. The Astros have taken the field in their Saturday home uniforms. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies are all dressed out in their Saturday duds, and they're going to call the game. They're upstairs, guys.
Well, they tried the retro blue and gold look last night. They lost it 3-1, so it's back to business uniforms tonight. And the Astros here at home this season, 27-33. Diamondbacks on the road are 29-33. And the D-backs are in the race. They're 5 games out of the lead in the NL West. Here's the starting lineup for Kirk Gibson, brought to you by Hyundai. Gerardo Parra leads it off in left field. Aaron Hill plays second base. The right fielder is Justin Upton. Cleanup man from the Woodlands, Paul Goldschmidt. Miguel Montero is the top RBI man among catchers. And he is batting fifth with Chris Young of Houston in center field. Stephen Drew at shortstop. Brian Wheeler at third base. Patrick Corbin the pitcher.
Pitcher for the Astros is Jordan Lyles. He's made 17 starts this year. He's 2-9 with a 5.47 ERA. Left-handed hitters have been a problem. The home run ball has been an issue. Last 2 starts, though, he's pitched quite well. He hasn't won, but solid efforts. 7 innings, 2 runs against Washington, and then his last time out, 7 innings, 4 runs, 2 earned. That was against Milwaukee.
Parra takes ball 1. Parra at 276 with 6 homers has 30 runs batted in. He is 4 for 5 in his career against Jordan Lyles. Brad Wallace is in on the grass at third base. Parra hits it in the air and it goes to the right fielder. Ben Francisco in. 1 out for Jordan Lyles.
Well, last time out, Jordan Lyles got a bunch of outs on the ground. He starts this one with a pop-up to right, handled there by Francisco. He's got right field covered. Barnes is in center, Maxwell left. Brett Wallace making his 5th start at third base. Green and Altuve are up the middle. Pierce is at first, and Snyder is behind the dish.
Aaron Hill, with 14 homers, 49 runs batted in, settles into the box, hitting .292. Hill takes a look at that one. It's strike 1. Hill last night batted third. He was 2 for 4. Scored a run. One of his hits a double. Jason Kubel again sidelined by a stiff neck in this ball game. There's a bouncer foul for Brad Wallace. So the D-backs are missing a guy who's having a tremendous year with 25 homers, 77 runs batted in Kubel for the 2nd straight game. Upton's on deck.
Kubel had a huge series against the Astros last month in Phoenix, including a 3-home run game.
Out to left center field. Justin Maxwell moves over. That's out number 2. Lyles didn't allow Hill to hit it on the good fat part of the bat there. And Jordan's been tough in the early innings of his games this season. The Astros have talked about how much improvement they have seen in him compared to the 2011 version of Jordan Lyles, and he's only 21. Now it's Upton, and Justin with 9 homers, 46 runs batted in, carries a .268 batting average, .354 on base average for Jay Up. He was 0 for 3 with a walk last night. There's strike 1 to Upton. He is 2 for 3 against Lyles with 2 runs batted in.
There they call him Jay Up.
Yeah.
I'd just go with Jup.
Jup would be good. Curveball makes it 0-2.
Jay lied, dropped a hook on him. Jordan Lyles throws a 2 4 seam fastball. He'll also cut his fastball, slider, good curve, and a changeup. That one clocked at 95 miles an hour, and it's been a recurring theme, the improved velocity from Jordan Lyles this year and the ability to drive that fastball over the outside corner against right-handed hitters. That's when he's at his best.
2-2. Lyles is trying to beat this Arizona club for the first time in his career. He has started twice against them, trying to snap a personal 5-game losing streak. His last win came here against San Diego, June 26th. Gets a swing and a miss and has an impressive 10-pitch 1-2-3 first inning. And now Corbin to the mound next. Up and you look at the lineup card brought to you by Hyundai of Brad Mills, Jose Altuve, Tyler Green, Steve Pearce, Justin Maxwell, Ben Francisco, Brett Wallace, Brandon Barnes, Chris Snyder, Jordan Lyles.
And left-hander Patrick Corbin, just 23 years of age, started the season in Double-A. You look at his big league resume. He's made 13 appearances, 8 starts, 4-4 with a 341 earned run average. And lately he's been awfully good. 3 starts in August, 2-0 with a 189 earned run average. And defensively, he's got Stoney and Chris Young in center, Upton in right, Parra in left. Wheeler, Drew, Hill, Goldschmidt across the infield for the Diamondbacks. And Montero behind the plate. Miguel Montero, one of the better all-around catchers in the game.
Oh, he should help Corbin as the Astros face him for the first time. And it's Altuve, 306, 5 homers, 31 runs batted in, 358 on base percentage. Had 3 straight multi-hit games. There's strike 1 to Altuve. 2 more hits in last night's game after a pair of 3-hit games back-to-back in Chicago. Well, Altuve remains in that top 10 in hits in the National League. He moves back and there's a call. Paul Nauert rings it up for Corbin for an 0-2 count now. Altuve with 136 hits, ranks 7th. 1 and 2. He said he's considering going to winter ball despite glittering numbers, 356 against lefties. He does have a couple of things he would like to work on, but not sure. He might play, get some at bats there, but not the full winter season. And he'll think about that later. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nonetheless, quite a year and a lot of baseball played by Jose Altuve. The at bats have really piled up. He's had 445 of them. It's 3-2.
Corbin showing a good heater. That one clocked at 95 miles an hour. That's better than the scouting report I saw on him. He was drafted in the 2nd round in 2009 by the Angels, and then came over here in the Dan Heron deal.
Along with one of their other lefty starters, Joe Saunders. There's a leadoff walk, and they have reaped a pretty good harvest. Heron is really struggling this year for the Angels. And
you don't shake a tree and get a lefty that can throw 95 miles an hour. That's
no, sir.
Nice pickup.
You bet. Tyler Green takes a glance down at Dave Clark before stepping up. His average is 233. He has 5 homers. He's driven in 21 runs. As an Astro, he's at 348. 8 for 23 for Tyler. Settling in at shortstop again tonight, where he played last night and had a hit and a sac fly in 4 trips.
We got the jump on Altuve and then started pitching for the strikeout, trying to get Altuve to chase. And I think it's fine to take one shot out of the zone like that. But he couldn't come back and find the strike zone again. And Altuve, to his credit, was able to work the walk.
9th start for Corbin, born in Clay, New York.
That's in the Syracuse area. Went to Cicero North Syracuse High School. Here's the kind of the fun thing. His high school coach was my college coach's son. So I went down and chatted with him during BP, and his high school coach when I was in college was, he was the stereotypical coach's son running around like 8 years old, a hat on crooked, and just growing up. And now that makes me feel like I'm about 100.
Steps back, looks over.
Didn't play high school baseball the first couple of years, so kind of a late bloomer. He was an outstanding high school basketball player as well. He went to a Mohawk Community College in Utica, New York. And from there on to a Chipola Junior College in Florida before being drafted by the Angels.
Green starts the bat, goes through with it to get strike 2 for Corbin. Last time out, Corbin beat Washington on Sunday with a well-pitched game.
2 and 4-seam fastballs for Corbin. The 2-seamer has a little run away from the right-handed hitter, as you saw there with Tyler Green. Done a real nice job keeping the ball in the ballpark. 4 home runs allowed in 58 innings.
Last year he was a Double-A Mobile. Ooh, that's a good balk move, JD. Well, he's known for controlling the running game and fielding the position well. Altuve's 25 for 32. Montero, as you indicated, one of the best throwing catchers around. 36% of the time he's gunned down the runner. And just 2 steals and 4 tries against Corbin. With that move, you can see why. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Tyler Green's been a nice addition to the Astros club. He'll be going back to face his former club, the St. Louis Cardinals, on the next road trip, which starts Tuesday night in St. Louis and continues on to New York at Citi Field against the Mets. It's popped up. The bat flies back off the screen as the first baseman Goldschmidt comes in, calls off the pitcher, and it's out number 1.
A good changeup there, had Green way out in front. So the lazy little pop up. Back. And they just cannot do it. Didn't know whether to look at the ball or the bat. Looking at the ball in the air, and then he's checking the bat to make sure he doesn't hit anybody in the coconut with that.
D-backs with Corbin, just 23. Could be interesting to follow the next few years. Steve Pearce at 286. No homers, 8 runs batted in. Playing first base again tonight. He was 0 for 5 last night. There's another throw over. When Corbin faced Madison Bumgarner earlier this year, they were both 22 at that time. And that was a matchup of 2 of baseball's youngest starters this year. And with what we saw from Wade Miley again last night, second time this year, he was once again impressive, as he was in Arizona against the Astros.
It's going to be interesting to watch these young pitchers and see how they do as the Diamondbacks try to hang in the race in the National League West. See how these rookies hold up under that pressure.
You bet.
Sometimes it's a good thing. You're a little bit oblivious to it all. There's so much pressure. It's all new to you anyway. Sometimes the younger guys are more immune to the pressures of a pennant race.
Good point. Taken by Pearce, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Luis Gonzalez said they have another outstanding left-handed starter in the pipeline in the minor leagues, 20-year-old Tyler Skaggs. So they could indeed have 3 top young left-handed pitchers for years to come if things work out for the D-backs. Bouncer third, backhanded. Here's Wheeler throwing to second, and a short hop play made by Aaron Hill for the force on Altuve from 5 to 4 with Pearce reaching.
Beats this sinker into the ground, and Wheeler tries to start a 5-4-3 double play, but there was no real legitimate shot here. A few strides to the backhand side. Corbin is more of a ground ball type pitcher, but you see that 95-mile-an-hour heater. Obviously, he can play the power game as well. He's not just a finesse lefty.
Justin Maxwell with 12 homers, 37 runs batted in, and a .241 average. Try to continue the inning. He had a hit and a walk last night. Francisco on deck. That's out to right center field. Chris Young calling for the grab to end the first inning with no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. No score after 1.
right there. It's presented by Kielbasa and Budweiser. Is available every Thursday home game, including August 30th. Versus the Giants. Purchase a loaded ticket that includes a Field Box 2-seat, Astros cap, sausage dog, and valued draft beer or soda for only $30. Root now and buy your tickets at Astros.com/guysnight. Riley?
Thank you, Greg. Paul Goldschmidt gets it going in the second inning and takes Jordan Lyles' first pitch for strike one. Goldschmidt is 7th in slugging percentage, has an .896 OPS to go with a .298 average, 18 homers, 64 runs batted in. It's 1-1 to Paul Goldschmidt, who has come up and really helped this Arizona club. Last year he had 156 at bats for the big league club, hit 8 homers, drove in 26. Smacks this line drive, Francisco and right.
Battling the lights.
Yep. One down.
Goldschmidt able to get on top of that pitch that was up around the letters and hit it on a line. And then Francisco has to battle it as it gets hung up in the lights.
Miguel Montero's next. The slugging catcher with 70 runs batted in. Has 14 homers, a .286 batting average, and high .394 on base average with 55 walks. Ball one for Lyles. Montero signed a multi-year contract extension. And no catcher has more runs batted in than his 70 this year. Hits that one toward left field and pretty deep for Justin Maxwell. Leaping at the wall, and it gets back off the warning track off his glove for a double for Montero. And trying to time his leap. And with that wall right behind him, Maxwell unable to hold it. Montero gets his 17th two-base hit.
And this ball not struck anywhere near as well as the ball that Goldschmidt hit on the line to right field, but just well placed as he carves it to left field. Nice effort here by Maxwell, leaving his feet, has a hit off the heel of his glove, just can't haul it in. He was there. You can see by the look on his face, he felt like he should have been able to put that one away.
Yeah. Chris Young's the batter now, and the Houston native had a lot of supporters here last night. Fouls it back, strike one. Young at .211 with 12 homers, has driven in 31. Chris usually has big games against the Astros. He had a hit and an RBI last night. Hit a home run off Lyles in Arizona just about a month ago. It's 1-1. He's a .323 lifetime hitter against the Astros, 8 homers and 32 runs batted in. And here at Minute Maid, .386 for Chris Young. It's 2 balls and a strike. Jordan Lyles said he likes to go back home and watch South Carolina football in the offseason. Really
South Carolina football. How are they?
I don't know how they're ranked this year. He's a big fan of the Gamecocks. Doesn't go in person. He watches on TV. Struck him out.
It's the only way to go.
That's strike 2. It's 2-2. Yep.
Are they good though?
They're in the top 25.
Are they?
Yeah.
And that's the team Steve Spurrier used to coach?
Yes.
Still there? He's the old ball coach.
He is the old ball coach. Jordan is from Hartsville, South Carolina. Smack to left center field. J-Max heads back. And this one's going to go deep, and he jumps up for this one, and that kicks back toward home plate, and that'll get a run home. And an RBI double by Young. That's his 19th double, 32nd run batted in, and back home in Houston where he loves to hit, he makes it 1-0 D-backs.
He had an RBI double in the game last night. He gets a fastball about belt high right over the heart of the plate. One of the problems for Jordan this year has been the long ball. He's making too many mistakes over the fat part of the plate. These big league hitters taking advantage. Last couple of starts, not so much. But they're getting some pretty good whacks at him here. And there's the D-back fans, the Goldschmidt/Young contingent, I'm guessing.
Stephen Drew looks at it. It's ball one to him. Drew has been a disappointment this year. First, that it took him so long to come back from his injury of last year, and secondly, a .205 average, 2 homers, 11 runs batted in. So he's sharing time at shortstop. Did not get the start last night. He came off the bench and was 0 for 1 in that game. It's 2 balls, no strikes. He came in for criticism from the owner of the Diamondbacks for not being able to get back to the lineup for so long. Ken Kendrick. Drew takes a look at that one. It's a strike. That makes it 2-1 to Stephen Drew, who's 29 years old. First round pick in 04.
And just 29 years of age. If he stays healthy, he's got a lot of good baseball left in him. But you wonder what his relationship with the club will be going forward after that run-in with the owner. If run-in's the right word. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use, but certainly the owner called him out.
Drew hits a fly ball near the left field line. Maxwell over. Young will tag at second, and he will just take a few steps and retreat. 2 outs. Drew said he did the best he could to get back after the broken ankle last year, but that interrupted last year's season and caused this one to start very late for Drew. Very talented player. But the Diamondbacks have not been able to attain the success they had last year when they were 94 and 68. They have several players who are not close to last year's numbers. Ryan Wheeler at 188 has no homers. He's driven in a couple. Made his big league debut against the Astros a month ago. And he got his first major league hit in that debut July 20th.
And he was putting up big numbers down at AAA.
He sure was. Ball 1. At Reno, and Reno has been known as a hitter's haven. But nonetheless, Wheeler, drafted in 09 in the 5th round, attracted a whole lot of attention, not only with numbers, but just the way he went about his business there. He played at Mobile last year. Bounces this one, and Altuve's there to flip it on to Pierce. Yeah. Pierce had to reach out and snag that one. It's 1 run, 2 hits, and a man left, and it's 1-0 Arizona.
Nothing. Holy Toledo, a Blue Star Gala saluting Hall of Fame broadcaster Milo Hamilton. That's right. Join us at Minute Maid Park as we celebrate Milo on Tuesday, October 16th. There's going to be a cocktail reception, entertainment, and dinner. Their sponsorship of this event benefits the Astros in Action Foundation. So reserve your table today at astros.com/community. Oh, he's wearing his formal hat tonight.
Yes, he is. It's dress-up night Saturday night.
It's bath night.
Bottom of the 2nd inning, 1-0 Arizona. Ben Francisco will lead it off. Corbin delivers, and it's high for Patrick. Ball one. 259 for Francisco. 2 homers. He's driven in 5. Then hit a ball well to center field on a line last night for a single. Fouls this one back. And he also had a bunt hit, going 2 for 4 in that one. Frustrating night for the Astros last night offensively, with 11 hits but 11 men left on base. They had only 1 extra base hit in that game. They had a bases loaded 1-out opportunity in the first, and Francisco popped up, and then Brandon Barnes grounded out, and Wade Miley was tough when he had to be. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, we've seen Miley twice now. Really sharp in the desert, and just tough and resourceful last night here.
Drew with this play. 1 out. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Brett Wallace will bat next. Wallace came off the bench and delivered a single in the 7th inning in last night's game, going 1 for 2 in a double switch. 294 for Brett, 5 homers, 11 runs batted in. Playing against the lefty Corbin tonight, even though he did not start against the lefty Miley last night. And the plan is to give Wallace a lot of at-bats, whether it's a right-hander or a left-hander on the mound against him for the rest of the year. And bangs out a line drive hit to center field. Well, he was 3 for 18 against lefties when he came to the plate.
And Corbin had yielded a .327 batting average, 2 left-handed hitters this year, so I'm sure Brad Mills, as he's getting his lineups prepared for the weekend, took a look at the 2 lefties and felt like Wallace had a better chance against Corbin than Miley, and it pays off here with his 1-out single to center.
He's aboard for Brandon Barnes. Barnes with a .200 batting average, including a homer at Wrigley Field, 3 runs batted in. He was 1 for 4 in last night's game. He singled in the 6th inning. Third baseman Wheeler off the line, even with a bag. There's strike 1. Wheeler not very deep on Barnes at all.
These guys would know each other pretty well from the Pacific Coast League.
He's backed up a couple steps.
No balls, no strikes. He's up even with the bag, maybe a step in front. With strike 1, he backs up a couple. The likelihood that Barnes would try to bunt with 1 strike, obviously not as high as it would on the first pitch.
He gets a little deeper every pitch. There's a storm out there in West Houston. Also up in the Woodlands, we're hearing. Bouncer back to the mound. Corbin waits, then he throws to Hill. Hill late to first. No double play. The play was not coordinated very well, and they get Wallace at second from 1 to 4 for out number 2.
A little hesitation there by Corbin, and that kind of gets him out of sync. He makes a bit of an errant throw to second base, and just comes up the whole works for the Diamondbacks. Little crow hopped on the throw, pulls Hill in one direction as his body's going in the other. He's not able to get much on that throw under pressure from Wallace.
Yeah. Good effort by Wallace. So in that circumstance, should a pitcher just turn and throw over the bag, not as hard as he can, or how should he?
I think you just got to make sure you make a good firm throw over the base.
For Snyder.
You can't turn and fire if you don't think anybody's going to be there.
Right. Had to buy a little time for Hill on that one. Barnes has not attempted a steal with the Astros.
What happens when you see that player moving, it kind of gets your attention, and the tendency is to pull the throw towards the player as opposed to just throwing it over the bag.
Barnes had 21 steals in the minors between AA and AAA this year. Snyder takes, and the former D-back is behind 0-1. Chris at 179 with 5 homers, has 20 runs batted in. Steve Sparks was asking Chris about the Diamondbacks had a 111 loss season a few years ago, and now with what the Astros are going through, is it harder to go through as a young player? He said no, as a young player you're just trying to establish yourself as a major league player. So the losses don't hit you quite as hard as they do when you're an older player.
Sometimes that's the fear on a young club, that you've got guys that are just quote unquote happy to be here. And as a manager, that's something you have to guard against. Hey, boys, I know you're happy to be in the big leagues, but we expect more of you than this.
That's to left field. Parra back, and Parra on the warning track hauls it in. With no runs, a hit and a man left, the Astros are retired in the second inning, and it's 1-0 Arizona.
For the third inning, I'm in the stands right now, and I'm sitting with some rather special people because this is historic. It's Phil Kalicki and his dad over here, Roger, and grandson here. That's I should remember that because he's named after the baseball company, Easton. Phil, this is a significant visit for you and your dad particularly, isn't it? Tell us.
Yes, it is. This is our 30th Major League ballpark together. It's been fantastic. It's a great time to spend with my dad.
And that's something that actually you started that a few years ago. This is not all in 1 year.
Right. We started.
Where did you start?
Years. Was it one, Phil? 05?
Yeah.
2005.
What was the first one?
We went to Pittsburgh, and we drove that night to Boston for an afternoon game, and then we drove to Philadelphia and went to sleep and watched them at night. Then we went to Baltimore, and then we went to see the Mets and the Yankees. And then, well, we had to catch the Hall of Fame.
And that was all the first years. You've slowed it down a little bit since then. Now, Easton, I know he hadn't caught up. He's only got 19. But have you had to go any place twice? Like, for instance, they got a new ballpark in Florida this year.
Yeah, we have to go back to that one yet. We've been both Cleveland's old new one, Detroit's, two of those, two in Pittsburgh. I've been to two in San Diego, both Yankee stadiums.
And you actually were going to be here long ago, but that got kind of snafu. Tell us about it.
Hurricane Debbie was coming through, so we figured we weren't going to risk it on that trip. So we made it this weekend out of it.
Well, we got a storm outside, but great inside, and I'm glad you could finally get to Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, we love the place.
Hey.
This is really nice.
And Easton, you got 11 to go. You're going to have to catch up with somebody else, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, the family is here. They have completed their journey out of Tucson. By the way, you got a lot of fans and a lot of Arizona people here. In fact, Brad Mills helped get you the tickets, we understand.
That's correct.
So we want to congratulate you for completing your journey, and let's hope that more people will try it. Guys, back to you.
Thank you.
Good story, Greg. Thank you. Great to have them here tonight. They've been planning this for a while, and it's nice to know that even when there's a storm outside, there's going to be a ball game. There's strike one to Parra. So even though that hurricane kept them away a few years ago, they would not be deterred from their rounds tonight.
Are they mailmen?
Well, sort of.
They're males.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it is true. It is a good thing. But sometimes a well-timed rainout is really a good thing in baseball.
True.
Not so much for the paying customer, though.
No.
Remember, the minor leagues as players, we used to beg for rainouts.
Yeah. But what's really tough to take is, we'll say the Talicki's there coming in and making special plans to be here on this night and a rainout. Oh, that would ruin the whole weekend if they had a trip plan and had a rainout instead of a ball game tonight.
Well, you got to make an adjustment. It's all about making adjustments.
Yeah.
They'd have to come tomorrow.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Parra. Jordan Lyles, quite a football star in high school in South Carolina.
That's right. He was going to go play football at the University of South Carolina.
Yes.
A scholarship offer.
He set school records in Hartsville with 81 catches, 23 touchdowns, 1,500 yards plus. He gets a strikeout. Number 3.
First 2 came on curveballs. This time he just busts a fastball right by Parra. Parra, a good contact hitter, doesn't strike out all that much, short stroke, but even with that, not able to catch up to the good heater from Jordan Lyles.
Aaron Hill hit a fly ball to left his first time up. He's been on base in 9 of his 10 career games against the Astros. Gets a first pitch curve for strike 1. 394 lifetime average for Aaron Hill against Houston.
Heater in.
Ground ball third. Wallace with the throw. Oh, off Pierce's mitt. It goes behind him, and Altuve will pick it up. Hill reaching on the 2-out misplay. Wallace's throw sailing high, and then Pierce got his mitt on it but couldn't hold it.
That's a bad combination of a high throw and a short first baseman. Pierce, what is he, about 5'10", 5'11", maybe?
Yeah.
You have big, long guys over there at first base. He could have left the bag to go up and catch that ball, but his fear was that, in the interim, Hill would have crossed first base, so he tried to maintain contact and stretch for it. Just couldn't quite get there. Wally's got plenty of arm to play third base, but we've seen this on a couple of occasions now where that ball really sails on him.
Mm-hmm. That's his 3rd error.
I think as his footwork improves, the need to get that much on the throw will diminish, and he'll be able to be a little more accurate. Quicker feet, won't have to throw it quite as hard, and the ball will be less likely to sail on him.
Justin Upton taking ball 1. He struck out earlier. Lyles with a record of 2-9, trying to stop this Arizona club, which had back-to-back doubles for his 2nd inning run. Foul ball. Coming over, Francisco will watch it drift back into the crowd.
One of the big challenges that Doug Brocail has had, with Jordan and so many of the Astros pitchers, you got so many young pitchers both in the rotation and in the bullpen. There's a tendency for young players to kind of deviate from the plan when they struggle a little bit. They're going along nicely, and you go out and you have a bad game or a bad couple of innings, and all of a sudden they want to rework everything. I need to change my mechanics. I need to throw this pitch more often, and as opposed to going, look, here's what we know about you. Here's what we've seen you do in the past and have success. Let's just stay with this for a good long while here and see if that works out.
Yeah. It's a good point. We hear stories from time to time about young pitchers who talk to older pitchers and try to adopt the style of those pitchers.
Sometimes you got to keep the pitchers away from the other pitchers, because there's a lot of guys that turn themselves into pseudo pitching coaches and getting guys' heads, and they shouldn't be there.
Smashed through the middle for a single for Upton, and it's 1st and 2nd, 2 outs for Goldschmidt now. Eric Young, the first base coach, lives in the Houston area in Cypress.
Upton fooled on the breaking ball first time. This time he stays back. Hits it sharply right through the 5-hole. Might have got a piece of Lyles.
Yeah, looked like it might have. Bud Norris took a batted ball off his foot in his last start in Chicago, but he's in line to make that next scheduled start. Now Paul Goldschmidt gets an opportunity. Goldschmidt lined out to right in the 2nd inning. And the Astros, this will be one of their missions for next year, is to tighten their fielding so the pitchers don't have to work so hard to get out of an inning with what should have been a routine out number 3. There's ball 1. Brad Mills was asked about September call-ups today. He said he and Jeff Luhnow have had a few discussions, but nothing concrete yet. 2-0. Jeff threw out some names as he appeared on Astros Live with Kevin and Steve Sparks tonight. And we'll discuss some guys on Astros Live tomorrow at 12:30 who are having good years and might be in line for September call-ups, but the Astros won't announce those for a while yet. One thing, the AAA Oklahoma City club has a chance to be in the playoffs in the Pacific Coast League. And if that club does make the playoffs, that's going to determine something about those September call-ups. I think the Astros will maybe take 1 or 2 players if that team is headed for the playoffs, but would not want to disrupt what would be a chance to win a championship. High chop goes outside the line. Goldschmidt swinging on 3-0, hits a foul.
Yeah, you call some guys up when rosters expand, and then you could call some more up after their postseason, after the playoffs are over down there.
Exactly.
I suspect, well, Jimmy Paredes will be here unless he gets hurt. And, Jeff had good things to say about Brett Oberholzer, the pitcher acquired in the Brave deal last summer.
We were talking with Brad Mills about Jared Cosart, who's on the disabled list for the 2nd time this year with blister problems. Astros working very hard to solve those issues. Tried pickle brine and every other type of remedy. There's a walk to load the bases now, and Montero comes up. Error, walk, single, and now Montero, who doubled to left, has this RBI opportunity.
Yeah, big confrontation here. Inning started with a couple of punch outs, and Lyles looked like he was in for an easy inning, and boom, 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 just like that, the bases are juiced, and a dangerous hitter, and Miguel Montero strides the home plate.
Snyder out to the mound. Yeah, we see it all the time, JD, with an inning like this. Pitcher really is put under stress. Montero has driven in 156 since last year, tops among all major league catchers.
Montero 5 out of 10 this year with the bases loaded with 1 grand slam.
Rolled out to second. Altuve will get it over to Pierce, and Lyles is out of bases loaded trouble with no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 3 men left, 1-0 Arizona.
Cancer Center making cancer history. It was on this date in 2001. Carlos Hernandez threw 7 shutout innings in his debut, and Octavio Dotel pitched 2 perfect innings. The Astros downed the Pirates. 3-0. Hernandez, of course, his career was cut short with a shoulder injury diving back into second base. Something else happened on this date in 1965 that I was witness to. Hank Aaron was called out for stepping out of the batter's box while homering to right field in St. Louis. Chris Pellicudis, after Bob Euchre pointed it out, called him out, and he lost a home run. I never forgot that. I was at that game, and, you know, when he was going after Ruth's record, I remembered the homer that was taken away. That happened in 1965.
Where was that?
1965 at Old Busch Stadium.
At Busch Stadium?
The old one.
Jordan Lyles at 120 leads it off. Got a question for you on that, Greg.
Okay.
There's strike one. So he went into the 74 season with 713 home runs. Is that what you remember?
Yeah, he needed to hit 2, right, to break the...
Looping line drive near the right field line by Lyles is foul. Just think, if that home run...
This happened way back in 65, but because I was there, I remembered it when we got up to 74. I remembered the home run had been taken away. Kurt Simmons was pitching, and he was throwing him a lot of real almost floater changeups. First time up, Aaron popped up on one. Next time, he stepped across the plate and hit it under the right field pavilion roof.
Well, just think, if he had not stepped out of the batter's box or the umpire hadn't caught it, he would have been tied with Babe Ruth going into that 74 season.
That's right.
That's a strikeout, and Lyles is caught looking. That's the first strikeout for Corbin. And remember all that drama that the Braves didn't want him to break the record in Cincinnati where they opened the season. They wanted him to break it at home in Atlanta. So they really didn't want to play him very much in those Cincinnati games. The commissioner ruled that they had to use him in the same pattern that he had been used in the past.
That's right. He played. He did play. Well, he homered in the first game.
Yeah, Billingham.
Right. Yeah, that put the pressure really on.
And I think he sat out one of those games and he played one of the other ones.
Yep.
But he was instructed not to hit another home run. Just kidding. There's ball 1 to Altuve. He drew the walk back in the first inning. That was a bit of drama to open that 74 season, and then the record breaker came off Al Downing in Atlanta. So Bob Euchre was a part of that, huh? 1 ball, 1 strike. St. Louis down Pittsburgh today 5-4. Pirates won last night in St. Louis.
That's why when Euchre was giving his speech at Cooperstown a few years back when he won the Ford Frick Award, Hank Aaron gave him a hot foot.
That's great.
Set his shoe on fire while he was trying to talk. So take that, Euchre.
That's beautiful. There's a line to right field, slicing and fair, and it kicks into the seats for a double for Altuve. 4-game hitting streak for Altuve. That's his 30th double of the season. He's the club leader, and he just continues to spray the ball all over.
I worked that walk first time up after being down in the count. This time a good inside-out swing with authority to the right field corner, and it kicks up into the seats. Otherwise, he might have been thinking 3.
Might have. Now he's in scoring position for Tyler Green, who popped to first. The story was when Milwaukee was here last weekend, Euchre was backing the team bus into the ballpark.
Yeah.
True story. Bus driver let him do it.
Bus driver was getting ready to retire.
Line shot, right field line again. And Green will get Altuve home to tie it 1-1. Green will hold with an RBI single. 22nd run batted in for Tyler Green, who's enjoying his time in a Houston uniform.
Well, a big lift provided by Jordan Lyles by getting out of that mess in the 3rd, and now the Astros respond in the bottom of the inning. Double single from Altuve Green to get on the board. He's very good swings of the bat.
Upton got there in good shape and prevented him from getting a double on that. As Steve Pearce is the batter, he bounced into a force play earlier. Here's a .205 career hitter against the D-backs. Young is shading him to right center. And the throw goes over. Green is a base stealer. He's 10 for 13. Very good career percentage. D-backs have not allowed the Astros to steal a base in the season series in 4 tries. Cincinnati beat the Cubs 5-3. Johnny Cueto going to 16-6 in a Cy Young bid. The 2.44 ERA. Out to left center field. Parra's there. Young with the catch.
And that's the first of 2 in Cincinnati. They've started the nightcap, and it's 1-1 after 2. So for the first time this year, the Reds will use a 6th starting pitcher. They've gone all year with just the 5, but doubleheader today. And we take a look at the National League win leaders. Not surprising to find a couple Nationals on there with all the winning they've been doing. And Cueto, great bounce back year for A.J. Burnett. R.A. Dickey hasn't been quite as consistent in the second half, but he's still having an outstanding year. And right there in the middle of the Cy Young conversation as well.
Justin Maxwell watches the throw go to first on Green. Aroldis Chapman got his 29th save for Cincinnati in that 5-3 win. Jeff Samardzija took the loss for the Cubs. Reds got 3 home runs. Xavier Paul #1, Miguel Cairo #1, and Rookie of the Year candidate Todd Frazier #17. Check swing roller goes out to Aaron Hill. Hill gets Justin Maxwell, and in the 3rd inning the Astros tie it with a run on 2 hits and leave a man. It's 1-1 through 3. Name the top 3 all-time home run hitters born in the state of Texas. Well, let's see. Frank Robinson was born in Texas. How about
Don Baylor?
Don Baylor, born in Texas.
He's here, so
yeah. Tris Speaker was born in Texas.
So was Rogers Hornsby.
Yep, you're right.
Didn't do that many home runs, though, did he?
No, I don't think he's would be considered as somebody we should use for an answer on that. Young with a smash hits it foul. Inside third, and it's a 1-1.
Adam Dunn, you got to be climbing up that list, doesn't he?
That's right. Good reminder. He's out in front of that little.
Well struck. Hang with him. Next week in New York, if we need it, we'll have technology that would do the job of the umpire there.
That'll be fun.
They're breaking out some new technology. They're going to try some replay.
I hope we get Hawkeye.
That's the one they use in tennis?
Yes. I like that Hawkeye technology, JD. Line shot over shortstop into left center field. Young takes a big turn, screeches to a halt as the throw comes in from Barnes. He was thinking double, and instead he settles for a single, and he's 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, Jordan's left him a couple pitches out over the plate. He's jumped on both of them. Double off the wall now. Single towards the alley in left center. But Barnes was able to hustle over there and cut it off and hold him to a single. Keeping that double play in order.
Young hurt his shoulder crashing into a fence earlier this year. He's aboard for Stephen Drew now. He had a fly ball to left in the second.
And really hasn't been able to command his fastball tonight like he has the last couple of starts. Only given up the 1 run so far. So if he can kind of find that, it would be in nice shape here going through the middle innings.
He has passed the 100 inning mark for the season with the Astros.
Long look down there from Drew. Maybe a little hit and run.
Matt Williams is the third base coach who was flashing signs to Drew. It's one to center field. And then backs up Barnes. Young will tag as Barnes makes the catch deep. And here's the throw, and Young is going to be moving into second on out number 1. Long throw for Barnes. That's good base running by Young. He's at second for Wheeler now.
They peeled it at first base, but he went in time. Barnes not able to get Young. Good heads up base running to go back and tag on this deep fly ball to center field.
D-backs are 5th in the league in runs scored. Wheeler grounded out in the second inning. Now here comes Snyder out to the mound.
Should be a score. Should be a way to score that in your scoreboard. A notation. A good tag up. A GTU.
All right.
Or a heads up play.
Whatever you choose. Put a little symbol there. How about a little circle with an arrow through
Yeah,
it?
something good happened.
Anything you want to come up with.
And I'll look at it 2 hours from now. And then, what was that for? Why did I make that mark in my scoreboard? Must have been bored. Started doodling.
Good luck reading anybody's scorebook 2 months later, figuring out what happened in a game. There's ball 1. But it does occupy a lot of time. That's not a bad thing.
So this Wheeler guy, we were talking about him and Elmore, who played shortstop last night, both among the league leaders in hitting in the Pacific Coast League. A great hitters league, and Reno, obviously one of the better hitters parks. 4 of the top 6 in that league playing for the Reno club, including a guy named Adam Eaton or Easton.
Eaton, yeah.
Eaton hitting .385 to lead the Pacific Coast League.
Yeah. That's driven to center. Barnes turns all the way around on it. Young takes off. Oh! Brandon Barnes, a tremendous catch! Unbelievable the way he got turned around and still located it and made a diving play.
Well, we'd say time and time again that ball directly over center fielder's head. Such a difficult play because it's tough to get the angle, to get the read on the ball, to know which way to turn. And he makes a great late adjustment to haul that one in, taking away extra bases. And once you go airborne for that ball, if you don't get it, it's going to roll up that hill. Young obviously would have scored. Wheeler might have circled the bases himself.
Wow. Wheeler reduced to shaking his head as he trots back to the bench on that jam by Barnes. Now it's the pitcher Corbin. Corbin fouls it. Your point, though, is an interesting one. And we have difficulty assimilating offensive numbers from the PCL this year. It's such a hitter's league. Guys are putting up huge numbers in the PCL. What do they translate to in major league terms? That is a very difficult question to answer this year.
Yeah, I think it's been a difficult question to answer for years and years. Maybe to a greater degree this year. And the Dodgers was always the Dodger guys in Albuquerque. Their prospects always seem to get overhyped.
Yep.
And they were able to pull off some pretty good trades because of that.
That's right. Well, they had Mike Marshall and Greg Brock and that bunch. Rock him out looking. Thanks to the play by Barnes in center. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. And there it is by Barnes to keep the score tied at 1-1 in the 4th.
Baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Mattress Firm. Save money, sleep happy. In this case, eat happy at Minute Maid Park during the ball game. As we go upstairs to Bill Brown and Jim DeShays, who are concentrating too hard to take time out to eat.
Oh, no, we can always eat, Greg. There's always time for that. It's a 1-1 game. Ben Francisco leading off in the home fourth inning. Taking ball one from Patrick Corbin. Francisco grounded to shortstop in the second inning. 5 of the first 14 Astro hitters had swung at the first pitch. Now a different approach here as Francisco has worked the count to 2-0 on Corbin. Corbin has walked only 19 in 61 innings. This one to shortstop Drew. One down. Trivia answer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about trivia.
AT&T wanted to know the top 3 all-time home run hitters born in Texas. Frank Robinson, Ernie Banks, Eddie Matthews.
Oh my goodness, we failed miserably.
Yes, we always do.
I don't think I knew that Ernie Banks was born in Dallas.
Yeah.
Cash, Lance Brookman. Our apologies to Lance for not throwing his name out there into the mix. That's what you get when you're on the DL. Forgotten. Out of sight, out of mind, big fella.
Ooh. Strike to Wallace, who singled to center. Lance is supposed to be going out on a rehab assignment next week, so we won't be seeing him in St. Louis.
We won't be seeing him in all those old familiar places?
No, we will not. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ooh, hello. 1-2 as Corbin brings it in. Boston beat the Yankees 4-1. Ron Lester winning that one. Alfredo Aceves getting his 25th save. In tight for 2 balls, 2 strikes. Giants and Padres play later tonight in San Diego with Barry Zito lining up against Eric Stultz. Texas shaded Toronto today 2-1. Shortstop Drew can't get it, and there's a diving play by Parra. He can't either. Wallace is on with his second hit of the night.
Good things happen when you make contact. This fastball up around the letters. He just fights it off. Drew can't get there. Neither can Parra. A thing of beauty.
The hitter has to love a result like that. Time for a look at our Brown Hand Center. Great hands of the game now.
Yeah, how about Brandon Barnes in center field? A spectacular play. Saving at least 1.
Drew Pierce liked it. Now Barnes up there in a bunting situation, trying to bunt his way on anyway. Takes ball 1. Bounced into a force play in the second inning, hitting it back to the pitcher. He doesn't want to do that again. So he tried to lay 1 down. And Wheeler has not acquired the best defensive reputation among third basemen, so he might be tested.
Pull him in now. Yank it by him.
Yeah. 1-1. Michael Kirkland won that game for Texas in Toronto, beating Salisbury in a waiver.
Roy Oswald started that game, worked 4 2/3 innings. The Rangers had the lead, but did not go the 5 innings needed to qualify for the W.
Ooh.
He hadn't pitched in over a week.
Yeah.
Don't know how well that sat with him coming out with 2 outs in the 5th.
Probably not the best. Let's see. Yeah, good numbers. 4 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts through 62 pitches. But he helped them win a game. Rangers are 69-50 right now. They're sitting in the AL West with a comfortable lead. 5 games on Oakland coming into play today. Angels really in some trouble. Throw goes over to first. They have fallen 7 games off the lead pace. And they have plenty of competition for the wild card this year, too. Angels right now are 3.5 back and in fifth. Well, they're actually in fifth place, but there will be 2 wild cards, so you have to factor that in. The check swing call goes Barnes' way, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. So there's a look at it. Angels are not getting a lot of great pitching.
That is a very tight cluster there. It's going to be fun to watch. See who can break from the pack.
Barnes is down on strikes. Second strikeout for Corbin.
Got Lyles looking in the third now. Pitches Brandon out in front of a good changeup.
Chris Snyder follows. Snyder hit a fly ball to left in the second inning. Snyder's 4 for 11 against his former club with 3 runs batted in. Calls time and backs away with Corbin taking time. Corbin's had 3 straight quality starts since he became a member of the rotation again. He delivers ball 1. Tomorrow it's Armando Galarraga and Ian Kennedy. It's a 105 start. Astros Live comes your way at 12:30. 50 pitches, 30 have been strikes for Corbin. Ian Kennedy was 21-4 last year, 10-10 this season with a 4.35 ERA. 1 ball, 1 strike. D-backs will go home after tomorrow for a 10-game homestand against Miami, San Diego, and Cincinnati. That's high to left field. Let's see if Snyder can get it into the seats. He's hit it a long way to left. Chris Snyder, 2-run homer against his former club, the Diamondbacks, to give the Astros a 3-1 lead. Number 6 for Snyder, giving him 22 runs batted in.
Oh, he almost went deep last time to left field. This time he gets on what appeared to be another changeup from Corbin. And no doubt about it.
Now Jordan Lyles, who's been provided with a 2-run lead, comes up. He got out of that 3rd inning jam. Bases loaded, getting Montero. That's looking to be a very big out in this game. It's ball 1. Jordan struck out looking in the 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike. Diamondbacks have outscored the Astros in the season series 36-14 coming into this game. It's a diving play by Wheeler. He gets up and throws out a hustling Lyles. But the Astros strike on a 2-out 2-run homer by Snyder for a 3-1 lead through 4.
Mazda's What Do You Drive? Kevin Eschenfelder back with you here at Minute Maid Park. Tomorrow, the finale of the homestand in this 3-game series is Armando Galarraga to make his 5th big league start of the season. He's facing his former team for the 3rd time in his career and the 1st time since 2010. Well, Armando also looking for his first win in an Astros uniform. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 with Astros Live. He'll go against Ian Kennedy, Mr. Decision. He's 10-10. 20 decisions in 24 starts. This has been your Mazda Game Break. Brownie, I'm looking at the game story, and there's the quote from Ron Washington. He said that Roy basically was starting to miss his spots and felt like he was laboring, and that's why he pulled him from the game after 4 2/3. Roy's quote was, "I started 330 games in the big leagues. I don't think I need to prove myself."
Wow. So much for the little meeting they had to patch things up.
The peace offering, I think, has been rescinded.
Sounds like it. Sparks are flying in Texas. Gerardo Parra, with the D-backs trailing 3-1, leads it off for the 5th. He's 0 for 2. Parra takes ball 1 from Jordan Lyles. Lyles has thrown 60 pitches. 38 have been strikes. He worked out of 3rd inning trouble after an error, a single and a walk, all with 2 outs. This one goes to left field. Justin Maxwell backing up now. Plays it off the wall. It kicks back past him, and that makes it an easy double for Parra. Parra's 15th 2-base hit of the year.
Sense that Parra would like hitting here at Minute Maid Park. If he just rides this 2-seam fastball the other way, high off the wall. Justin's been caught a little too close to that wall on a couple of occasions here in recent games.
Yeah. He's checking. This is his 13th start in left field. Aaron Hill's the batter. Hill's 0 for 2.
Such a tough read to make, because he's a good enough athlete. If he gets back there and the ball's not way up on that wall, he can go up and get it. Carlos, when he played out there, he just kind of go into turnaround mode fairly quickly. He didn't run back to the wall all that many times. He just turned around and get ready to play the carom, and he became very adept at it.
It's odd that you would point that out. I'm just thinking sometimes speed can get an outfielder in trouble.
Too close to the wall, too close to the other outfielder.
Exactly.
Close enough where you leave your feet to try to make a play on a ball you should just be willing to handle on a hop.
J-Max got his glove on that one double and jumping right at the wall. Some outfielders don't get there. They can't even think about trying and play like that. But other guys, Eric Davis used to bang into walls all the time. He got hurt. And so speed can get an outfielder into trouble physically. Those diving plays, if speed allows them to get close enough to dive, another outfielder with less speed wouldn't be trying a diving effort, wouldn't get hurt doing that. 2 balls and a strike. Altuve went to the base. Now he returns to his position. That's a swing and a miss for Hill. 2-2.
Good straight change here. Changeup stays in the zone like that one did, and it's still that effective. That's a really good sign. Most guys have an effective changeup. It's a ball that's fading out of the strike zone.
This one gets away from Snyder. Parra advancing to 3rd on a wild pitch. It's a full count now to Hill.
That's a tough one there. A lot of times the wild pitch is charged, but it's still on the catcher for not being able to control it. But that would be a tough one there to put the burden on Snyder when it's that far out in front of home plate. Tough one to contain.
As you can see, Parra was moving toward 3rd when that pitch was in the dirt, so he just thrust it into high gear and made it easily. That's ball 4. Now the D-backs rally with 2 on and nobody out, and Upton coming up.
And Jordan able to pitch out of a jam in the 3rd. Had a base runner to start the 4th, but it didn't hurt him, and now he's in the soup again here. Double walk to start the inning, and he's got 3, 4, 5 getting their 3rd look at him, and that's been a big issue for him this year. 3rd time through the order, opposing hitters have hit for a pretty robust batting average.
Upton has struck out and he's singled. Green and Altuve play for a double play. In the air and shallow right field. Altuve sprinting back and he can't make the catch. Here's a run scoring. He tried the sliding play, but it's an RBI pop fly single by Upton to make it 3-2. Upton drives in his 47th.
And a bit of bad fortune here. If they're not playing for the double play, Altuve might not be as close to second base. Might have been anyway with Upton up there. You never know. But in normal second base positioning, he probably catches that ball in the air.
Now it's Paul Goldschmidt. He lined hard to right field in the second inning. Walked in the third. Lyles has surrendered 6 hits. Montero's on deck. Goldschmidt bounces this one foul for strike 1. Cubs are leading 3-1 at Cincinnati in game 2 of their twin bill.
Here's that breakdown through the lineup. First go around, not an issue. Second, just fine. Third time's been problematic. I will point out, however, that the triple play is in order.
Ooh. 1 ball, 1 strike to Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt, between his time last year and this, has basically played a full season in the major leagues now, 155 games, something like that. 26 home runs. Very bright future.
Fouls it. It's 1-2. Baltimore and Detroit are at a 0-0 standoff after 4.
Today the 19th.
No,
ooh, boy. Been some serious triple play karma working there.
Morgan Ensberg started that one. On a ground ball to his right. Bouncer here, and that gets on through. And here comes Hill to the plate. Here's the throw from J-Max. Cut off by Lyles. He relays it onto Altuve. Safe at second. And the game is tied 3-3. Furthermore, Goldschmidt gets to second after driving in that tying run. That's his 65th run batted in for Goldschmidt.
A little of that, a little of this so far this inning. A double off the wall by Parr, a walk. Now a couple of hits for the Diamondbacks, not all that well struck, and a high throw homeward from J-Max allows the back runners to move up. Aggressive send there by Matt Williams, and then this high throw allows everybody to keep on moving. Upton to third, Goldschmidt into second.
And Montero has runners at second and third with nobody out.
A little ground ball. It's amazing the difference a couple of feet in this game will make. Pulls it just a little bit more. Around the horn double play to help clean up the inning.
Xavier Cedeno warming up. Strike to Montero. And Snyder comes out of there, flexing his leg.
It's a cut fastball that Montero gets on top of, and I believe it got Chris on the top of his right foot.
No balls and a strike. Montero done well against Lyles in his career, 5 for 8. Chris Young is on deck. In the dirt, Snyder drops down on it, and it's a 1 ball 1 strike count. Montero's from Caracas, Venezuela. Came to the big leagues in 06. Signed a long-term deal March 1st, the day before Yadier Molina signed a long-term deal. Strike. 1-2.
A high strike call.
It was. And this year Montero agreed to a 5-year $60 million deal. Yeah, that's going to be tough, he says, if that's a strike. Montero's whiffed 93 times this year.
Going back up top.
2-2 with Young on deck. All 4 of Lyle's major league wins have come in this ballpark. Daniel getting loose. Kansas City leads the White Sox 3-0. They've played 4 in Kansas City with Bruce Chen on the mound. Now full count to Montero. White Sox are being chased by the Tigers. 1.5 games separating the first place White Sox from second place Detroit. And Detroit right now looking good for a wild card spot. Tied with Baltimore for the second wild card position.
Getting a little loose with his mechanics here.
Third walk and the bases are loaded. Doug Roquel comes out with nobody out in the inning, and Young coming up 2 for 2 with an RBI.
Two in, bases juiced, nobody out. It's been an issue this year for Jordan. The big inning, you see a list of them there, and many of those games in which he was going along nicely. Obviously, the game in Texas, he gave him 5 in the first and then settled in, but a number of those starts, pretty quiet through the first 3, 4, 5 innings sometimes, and then a big inning just blows up on him.
78 pitches for Lyles. He's had 2 full counts in the game, both coming in this inning. Young hit a 2-2 pitch for an RBI double in the second inning. On a 2-1 count, he singled to left center in the fourth. Drew is on deck. Curve works for strike 1 to Young.
Get over curveball to get the jump on Young. 2 very good swings tonight. Jordan's made mistakes to him in both at bats. Ball's out over the plate and up a little bit.
Liner to left. That's in for a hit. The D-backs take the lead 4-3 on the bases loaded single by Young. He's 3 for 3 in the game with 2 runs batted in. 33rd run batted in for Young.
Now, that wasn't a bad pitch, but you just get a sense that Chris Young, a smart hitter, was thinking, all right, I've hit a couple fastballs. He threw me 1 curveball. He's probably going to come back with another one because he was right on it.
That's going to be it for Lyles. Pitched out of trouble in the 3rd inning. Here in the 5th, though, double, walk, single, single, walk, single. So 6 in a row have reached, and that gets him out of the game with Arizona up 4-3. Back in a moment.
Bases loaded, there's nobody out. This season, MLB on Fox is proud to support Boys and Girls Club of America, a place where youths can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports.
Bases loaded dilemma for Xavier Cedeno. He's been here a few times this year. He has no wins or losses, one save, a 3.93 ERA. Lefties have 7 hits and 29 at bats against him, and it's lefty hitting Stephen Drew facing him here.
Right now 4 runs charged to Jordan Lyles tonight, but he's responsible for the 3 base runners. He's got the pom-poms out cheering for Cedeno to get him off the hook here, trying to minimize the damage, keep the Astros in the game.
Ball 1 to Drew is 0 for 2. This is the 6th time Cedeno has come in with the bases loaded this year. Drew 189 against lefties. Against Washington here 10 days ago, he didn't allow any of those 3 runners to score. With nobody out and the bases loaded, the Astros down by 1 in the 6th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike here.
2 left-handed hitters up, and then the pitcher spot.
Back on June 18th, Cedeno got his first save coming in with the bases loaded, getting the final out in a 9-7 win over Kansas City.
Good try.
2-1 for Cedeno.
Drop down, sidearm fastball, shooting for that outside corner, and just missed. That's a tough pitch for a left-handed hitter to do anything with.
Lyles threw 80 pitches, 48 of them strikes. Near the left field line, Maxwell coming over and slicing away from him and into the seats. 2-2.
Cedeno, 25 years of age, from Guayanilla, Puerto Rico. That's just a guess on the city.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it. Well, who's going to call you on it? Cheo? He might.
He's in the booth next door, probably.
Wheeler's on deck, another left-handed hitter, and then the pitcher Corbin. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes for Cedeno. Overall, Cedeno has inherited 29 base runners, allowing just 7 to score. Needs a pitch here at 3-2. He walked him to force in a run. And it's 5-3. The check swing call was made by Kerwin Danley on appeal. Drew gets his 12th RBI.
He walked in a run there, but you hate to see a pitcher just give in a situation like this, and he made a lot of really good pitches. It wasn't like he was all over the place, wild, just missing the corners. And just credit Drew with a tough at-bat, able to lay off those borderline pitches to work that walk.
Wheeler comes up now. He's 0 for 2. He hit that bolt that was caught by Barnes in the 4th inning. He's the 8th man to bat here. There's ball 1. Everybody laments a bases loaded walk, but if a grand slam is the alternative, you'll take the walk.
Yeah, it just depends, the hitter, the situation. It's a 5-3 game. The Astros very much in this game here. You don't want to just throw a cookie because you're having a hard time finding the zone. You want to keep trying to make a pitcher's pitch. You want a little check swing, 1 hoppers back to the mound.
2 balls, no strikes for Cedeno.
You saw Snyder after that one tapping his chest protector, telling Cedeno, "Stay with me now. This is the time. Don't. Push comes to shove. Sooner or later, we got to throw a strike."
Wheeler takes a strike, and it's 2-1. Wheeler was leading the minor leagues in runs batted in with 90 when he came up to the big leagues.
On the plate, maybe a little low. Cedeno gets the call this time.
8 hits for Arizona, 5 for Houston. The Astros have the only error in the game. The ground ball takes it to a 2-2 count.
Amazing what one strike will do to a hitter. Gets him in the swing mode there.
Bartolo Colon is pitching in Oakland later tonight for the A's against Cleveland, his former club. Tampa Bay takes on the Angels in Los Angeles or Anaheim. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, once again, the count is full here for Cedeno. Mets and Washington are scoreless there in the top of the 6th. Edwin Jackson has the ball for Washington tonight. The Mets are going with Jonathan Neese. Big 3-2 pitch here. Bouncer on through. Altuve unable to stop it on the backhand side. 2 runs will score. And it's an error on Altuve. His 11th of the year. These errors for the Astros have really mounted this season. And now the Diamondbacks are up 7-3.
Now, one of the things Brad Mills has been preaching to his young players all year is just make the plays. Don't try to do too much. And you see Altuve there positioning himself so he could come home with this ground ball. He wants to get the force at home, maybe with an idea of getting a 4-2-3 double play. I'm not sure, but instead of just squaring up behind that ball, catching the ball, then making a play, he tries to position himself where he can better get off that throw home.
Now right-hander Chucky Fick is warming up for Houston. There's no RBI credited to Wheeler on the error by Altuve.
What Brad Mills does, he has regular depth, double play depth, all the way in, and then this hybrid position with his middle infielders where they're not all the way in, they're kind of halfway in, and they can read the ball and either come home or try to turn 2. And I think that's a ball that Brad Mills would rather see Jose just go ahead and turn a 4-6-3 double play. You could tell by the way he turned his body, though, he wanted to come home and nail that lead runner.
Fick's warming up.
With nobody out in the inning, this stage of the game, you're better off just taking 2 when given the opportunity.
Corbin's the batter now. He struck out twice. And there's that squeeze bunt attempt again. We saw that safety squeeze last night. It worked for Wade Miley. It got Arizona a run with runners at first and third. He put down a very nice bunt, scoring Parra from third last night.
Play where the base runner just follows the third baseman down the line, then reads the bunt, decides whether to go or not. In this situation with nobody out, Matt Williams is probably telling his runner down there, don't be overly aggressive here if the play is still on. If you feel 90% sure you can make it, go ahead. But if not, if we get a straight sacrifice, we got second and third, 1 out. We're good with that.
Swings at this one. 0-2. I was asking Brad Mills, I said, we've seen that play a lot this year in this situation. Why are we seeing that more now than we saw years ago? And he went through several reasons. One being we have lower scoring games, so teams are more prone to try to scratch out a run here and there. But he said, you need the right combination. The pitcher can't be a real big strikeout pitcher for you to put this play on. And you have to have a base runner who can read it properly. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he said it's just a very tough play to defend against. The Astros have used a number of different players at various positions, a number of different pitchers. And, shortstop's going to go cover second. The second baseman's going to go to first. So third base is open. Swing and a miss there. Corbin strikes out. So that means the runner can get back to third if the pitcher doesn't make contact or the hitter doesn't make contact and beat the third baseman back to the bag. That's out number 1. At last, after 8 straight, reached base. Now Parra started the inning with a double to left. He's hit .232 against lefties. Hill is on deck, and that might be time for Chucky Fick if Cedeno can't get a double play here on Parra.
Here comes again.
Yeah.
Another situation where Kirk Gibson is willing to put a little safety squeeze on here and get a run home. And that's the thing. It takes the burden off the bunter, the man in the box, and it's suicide squeeze. The guy's coming down the line. You've got to try to bunt the ball. Safety squeeze, you don't.
Swing there makes it 1-1. Brad Mills said, if you noticed last night, we had Marwin Gonzalez at third. And right before that play, when Miley put down the safety squeeze, we had Marwin back up at third. That means the runner has to back up a little bit at third. We're trying to cut into his lead on a play like that as much as we can.
Yeah, I guess that would be the one way to defend it, is just keep your third baseman home if you have an athletic enough pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it in this situation.
I was asking Steve Sparks about the play before the game tonight, and he said, well, why does your shortstop have to go to second? You could think about sending him over to third base in case they miss the bunt try. And
that's assuming you know they're going to do it.
Right.
And if you watch the timing of the play, as the pitch is being delivered, the shortstop's playing his normal position. There's no way he's going to get to third base in time to influence that play.
Right.
And if he's running over to the third base and they're not bunting, there's kind of an awfully big hole on the left side.
Yes, there is. 2-2 to Parra. Parra's a .353 career hitter against the Astros. He fishes there and comes up empty. Strikeout number 2 in a row for Cedeno now.
Parra trying to take his lower body and just out of the equation and just use his hands, but nothing's going to work when you're swinging at a ball that far out of the zone.
Chucky Fick time. Cedeno will be removed from the game to get a right-handed pitcher against Hill. Chucky's on his way in with a score. Arizona 7, Houston 3. Back in a moment. First and third with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. It's been a big frame with 6 runs coming home for Arizona. Chucky's 0-1 in 9 games.
Yeah, not a good sign here when the D-back hitters are getting their 4th plate appearance. We're in the 5th inning.
He'll face Aaron Hill. Hill is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Jordan Lyles threw 80 pitches, 48 for strikes. In 4 innings plus, he allowed 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned. Walking 3, throwing a wild pitch, and fanning 4. Smack foul. Strike 1 for Hill. He's the 11th man to bat here in this big 5th inning for Arizona. 6 runs home.
Good thing we started at 6:05 tonight.
It never fails on a Saturday night, JD. We start an hour earlier and we finish the same time as Friday night.
This game's far from over. We're going 13 innings tonight. Stros are going to rally back.
Let's do it
in dramatic fashion.
What else do we have to do tonight?
Well, it is bath night, as I mentioned earlier, but we can work around that.
Strike makes it 1 and 2. You ever get one of those old-fashioned iron bathtubs, those huge things?
Well, I played summer ball in Virginia one year, and we had something like that. It was all rusted out, and that was the primary mode of cleaning.
Runner goes from first. There's a drive. Hit a long way to left center field, and that will bang high off the wall for a 3-run homer. Aaron Hill powers number 15 of the season, giving him 52 runs batted in, and the Diamondbacks are headed for what they hope is a rout, 10-3.
Now, nice swing of the bat there by Aaron Hill on the breaking pitch from Fick. Diamondbacks continue to pour it on. The happiest man in the ballpark, Patrick Corbin. He's sitting pretty right now with his touchdown lead. Just needs to pitch the bottom of the 5th to qualify for a W.
Upton takes, and there's strike 1. He is 2 for 3. An RBI in this game. Ben Sheets has given up 4 homers tonight. Wow. For the Braves.
It ain't so bad. He'd been so good.
Yeah, he had allowed 3 homers in game 6 previous times, so that's an unfortunate new career high for him.
Yeah, he's not afraid to give up a home run. He's pretty aggressive.
Doesn't walk many, does he?
No. Yeah, there was some years there where his strikeout to walk ratio was crazy good.
Giancarlo Stanton hit a long ball at Coors Field, and he's homered in 6 straight games in that ballpark. Broken bat liner caught, and that is quite an inning. 12 to the plate in a 50-pitch inning, and it's 10-3 Diamondbacks.
lead at 10-3. Hey, the blue and gold star uniforms will return to the playing field again Friday, August 31st. The Astros take on the Reds for Flashback Friday, presented by the Methodist Hospital System. Astro great right-hander Shane Reynolds will toss the ceremonial first pitch, and fans can enjoy Friday night fireworks. Those, of course, presented by Marathon Oil. Root now and buy tickets for Flashback Friday easily at Astros.com. Brown?
Thanks, Greg. It is 10-3 Arizona. And there's the first pitch here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Altuve takes ball one. He has a walk and a double and has scored a run tonight.
Just have good at bats. Maintain the focus. Don't cheat yourself. Don't let the score influence your approach to the game, and you're only going to cost yourself quality at bats if you do that.
One hopper fielded, and Wheeler throws over to Goldschmidt. One out. Wheeler playing third tonight. Chris Johnson was the third baseman last night. D-backs trading the Astros some players to get Chris Johnson, and both teams happy with what they got. Bobby Borchering and Mark Krause were obtained in the deal from Arizona. Borchering is at Double-A Corpus Christi. He's driven in 14 runs in 16 games since the trade. Krause hit .414 at Double-A, and he's been at Triple-A for a few days. Ball one to Green. Green with a single to right field drove in a run in the third inning. He's 1 for 2. It's this one high to left field. Tyler Green's into the home run trot. That's a no-doubter. 10-4 as Green hits number 6 of the year, and his second as an Astro. He's got great numbers in an Astros uniform.
Corbin pumps a fastball over the heart of the plate. Tyler Green does what you're supposed to do with a fastball over the heart of the plate. Put a good swing on it and hit it hard, and he elevates it. And goes for a nice little jog around the bases.
Ball one to Steve Pearce.
Sometimes that old mentality, get a big lead, be aggressive, is a little bit overplayed. Take that out there to the mound with you, give up a couple long balls. Wait a minute.
A liner to left. Pierce out of the box quickly, bangs off the wall. Parra plays it, fires into second. Pierce is going to be out. Well, Parra just picked up his 5th outfield assist. He is known for his throwing. That one not exactly on the bag, but took a nice bit of work by the second baseman Hill to make that tag.
Yeah, you like hustle, but when you're down this much, you got to be awfully sure when you try to take an extra base. You need a big inning to get back into this one. They've got a pitcher who appears to be a little vulnerable after giving up the home run, and then this ball off the wall. You know, Steve had it to do all over again. He would have settled for a single. Nice athletic play there in applying the tag.
Great tag by Hill. Maxwell now with strike one, and Parra made the strong throw. Of course, it's a short left field here, but still he got it there early so Hill could make that diving play.
We talk so much about pitchers having to make adjustments and hitters, base runners too. When you play in a park like this with that short wall and left, you just have to get over that mentality that anything off the wall should be a double. That can't be easy to do.
Wheeler gets Maxwell. In the 5th inning, the Green homer gives the Astros their second long ball of the night. It's 10-4 D-backs.
Harrington, Eddie George, and Aaron Andrews will get you ready for kickoff. Then Heisman Trophy frontrunner Matt Barkley and third-ranked USC, their first-ranked in one other pool, take their first steps on the road to a national championship as they take on the Hawaii Rainbows. The premiere of college football Saturday, September 1st at 6 p.m. Central, only on the Fox Television Network.
Chucky Fick on the mound. It's 10-4 Arizona. Goldschmidt the batter. There's strike one to him. He singled as a part of the 9-run fifth inning by Arizona. 10 runs on 9 hits now for the game for the D-backs. Goldschmidt 1 for 2 with a walk. And that's a ball to even the count at 1-1. College football in the air already.
My alma mater will go undefeated this year.
Ooh, nice prediction.
They don't have a team.
Lemoyne?
No Dolphins.
Has Lemoyne ever had a team?
Not that I'm aware of. We adopted Syracuse, SU, they're across town, and we adopted them, but lately we haven't embraced them all that much.
Put them up for adoption again.
They haven't gone so well for the Orangemen in recent seasons.
What are you looking for from them?
Duff. That's Duff's club.
That's right.
Syracuse.
500 season maybe this year.
I have no idea.
Well, Missouri's moving to the SEC, as you know. That could be ugly.
Is all else moving taking place this year?
Yeah.
There's Fox Tracks. It's brought to you by TechStop.
A&M moving to the SEC.
And is U of H going to the Big East at some point? Somebody's going to the Big East next year, maybe.
Next year.
Okay.
Vick gets a strikeout on Goldschmidt. 1 out. Strikeout number 7 for Astros pitchers.
Syracuse is going to the ACC.
Ooh.
A bad hack there by Paul.
Hey, Matt Albers is now a Woodlands resident.
I was talking to Matt before the game. He's fired up to be back in the National League. I think he'd had enough of the drama that was Boston.
Oh, he has. Ball 1 to Montero. Montero with a double and a walk, 2 runs scored.
He said a lot of that is being overblown. It's just the nature of the media there. There's so much focus on the Red Sox in New England.
Two balls, no strikes. Well, they're sure not going to focus on Harvard football, that's for sure. Swing there makes it 2-1 to Montero. Cubs leading the Reds 5-2 in game 2 of that twin bill. Brett Jackson hit his first homer. Ryan Ludwig, number 24 for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Jackson, the young kid the Cubs recently called up. We got our first look at him. He had some good swings in the series. He swings and misses a lot. He's a good athlete.
There's a swing and a miss for a 2-2 count. Dusty Baker does not have a contract beyond this year. Said he's not worried about it. Said he doesn't have time to talk about it right now. They talked in spring training. The Reds say they would like to get him extended for several years to come. Apparently they'll pick up talks after the season. A little odd, though, for a manager of a first-place club to be working out his contracts. His leverage goes up with every Reds win. Baltimore just got 3 in the top of the 7th at Detroit to grab a 3-0 lead. Chris Davis hit his 19th homer. And the Orioles are hanging right in there in their playoff quest.
It's the interesting thing, though, about managers. You know, we talk so much about a manager and what his influence is on a one-loss record, and very hard to figure that all out. So whether a manager wins or loses, it seems to me like whether he's the manager the next year should be more about, is he the right guy for the job? He's the right guy to take this team to the next step.
True.
Depending on the personnel, or just once a GM gets a feel for a guy and their relationship. Yogi was fired, right?
Yes.
After 64, after the Yankees won the pennant.
Yes, he was. Johnny Keane. That was a weird deal.
Just went the other way, right?
Yeah,
He had been the Cardinal manager and came over to manage the Yankees after playing him in the World Series.
That's a one-out walk. Montero aboard.
See, looks like number 8 caught the inside corner at the bottom of the knees, but obviously not a pitch that you're going to assume you're going to get.
Chris Young is 3 for 3 tonight. 2 runs batted in and a run scored for Chris. 220 batting average for the year. 240 lifetime coming into this season. And tied ball 1. Good defensive player. 319 career on base average. Had some nice home run years. He hit 32 in 07, 22 in 08. But this is not one of his top years. Nevertheless, JD, you get a club like Kirk Gibson has now, with guys who have done things like Chris Young has done before. You're always thinking, we know it's in there. We know he's done it at this level, and now we could focus on the remaining 6 weeks of the season. See if we can get him up to top form here.
Yeah, because you know when you're in a pennant race, it's not just about salvaging your numbers; it's about contributing to wins. Sometimes that makes it easier for a player who's having a little bit of an off year because he knows there's still plenty to be accomplished between now and the end of the season. He's got a chance to be a big part of it.
That's an excellent point. It's really not about that guy's individual numbers anymore. It's about how he can contribute to the club.
Yeah, and Chris has always been a guy who's been more of a dangerous hitter than a high average hitter.
Yes. Strikes out a lot. Hits this one to left field shallow. Justin Maxwell coming after it. 2 outs. Well, Young is batting 6th in this lineup. He was the leadoff man last night against the lefty Dallas Keuchel.
Here's a fun one. On this date in 1906, Willie Keeler struck out for the 2nd time in the 1906 season. Both times it was by spitballer Ed Walsh. Ed got him back on April 17th, and then for good measure punched him out again on August 18th. He owned Willie Keeler.
So he didn't. Now balk is called by Doug Eddings, the second base umpire. Montero moves to second. So he didn't strike out on a dry pitch all year.
Unless he struck out after this date. What was that?
He didn't stop. He just kept going.
Well, even I can't complain about that one.
No. There's strike 1 to Drew. Drew drew the bases loaded walk in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2.
See how many times Willie Keeler struck out in the 1906 season. See if we can find that out. I didn't say.
1 ball, 1 strike.
We'll go with not many.
Well, it was a totally different time in baseball. There weren't many strikeouts. There weren't many homers. A lot of contact hitting. Big bats, thick handles, shorter swings. Bouncer here to Altuve. On over to Pierce. In the 6th inning, it's no runs for Arizona with a man left. They lead it 10-4.
Hey Astros fans, Chevy is proud to present Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. Boy, you already missed it. It's right here on Fox Sports Houston, or you can visit hometownkids.tv for more information.
I watched it today.
Did you really?
Yeah, first time. Ben Francisco leads it off, bottom of the 6th inning.
What were they working on today?
Working on a lot of different sports. Fly ball to the right field corner. Brought by Upton. It's not just about baseball. But Emily Ruppert was driving a nice-looking Chevy. One pitch, one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They were working on lacrosse.
Lacrosse?
Yeah. It's a combination of, let's see, what did they say? A little hockey? Hockey and soccer and basketball or something like that. Talking about agility.
That's real big where Corbin's from, Central New York, big lacrosse territory.
Red Wallace 2 for 2. Did you play lacrosse growing up?
I did not.
There is a fair amount of physical contact in that sport, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they whack each other pretty good. There's and up there they play box lacrosse. They play in the hockey rinks in the summertime. They play, they just hammer each other into the boards.
Sounds like fun. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dodgers leading 6-1 in Atlanta, bottom of the 7th inning. Aaron Harang has the lead. Ben Sheets gave up 6 earnings in 6 innings.
Optical illusion, or did Corbin just lick his glove prior to making that pitch?
I didn't see it, JD. WW. Wasn't watching.
Wally with a couple singles, first 2 times up here. Corbin dispatches him with a good breaking ball.
That's allowed, licking your glove.
Yeah, I might have missed something. I don't know. It looked like maybe he was just licking his lips.
All right. Brandon Barnes is 0 for 2. Well, what if you were a chocolate fanatic and you wanted to plant some chocolate on that glove? Is that allowed?
Why not?
Okay.
I don't know. I think that would be an illegal substance. The old chocolate ball. Ed Walsh probably threw that to Wee Willie Keeler back in the day.
He may have. Foul back into the seats.
And I did find it. Keeler struck out just 5 times in 1906.
Wow.
Joe Sewell struck out 4 times one year, right?
Yeah, he was nuts.
Keeler struck out twice in 1899. But as you said, it's a completely different era.
Still impressive.
Wow.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Worth noting in a 10-4 game.
Well, back in those days, JD, they didn't get new baseballs during the game. They played the entire game with 1 ball unless somebody wouldn't give it back when it was fouled. And so it got pretty dark by the end of the game. That's pretty impressive that they could even see what they were swinging at.
Which brings us to the notorious game in 1892 when left fielder Cliff Carroll attempted to field a ground ball and it became lodged in his shirt pocket. Before he can get it out, opposing batter makes it all the way to third base.
We've all had problems getting things out of our pockets from time to time.
St. Louis owner Chris Vonderhay fined Carroll $50 and suspended him for the rest of the season. And then Carroll rejected the appeal, or he appealed it, and the league rejected his appeal.
No.
You cannot have the ball get lodged in your shirt pocket and expect ownership to stand for it.
There's a strikeout for Corbin. That's number 4. That ends the 6th inning, and it's 10-4 Arizona.
brought to you by Hyundai's Summer Drive Sales Event, now through September 3rd. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. In at the ballpark there to the left is right next to Minute Maid Park. Now we're inside the ballpark. Score isn't pretty. Let's hope the rest of the game is. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies have the call.
Thank you, Greg. On a Saturday night, cotton candy. We had the fireworks show after the game last night, but tonight there's been a storm outside and maybe more rain brewing for tomorrow, the forecasters say. Ryan Braun got his 20th steal of the season. He has his third 2020 year in his career for the Brewers. Ryan Wheeler leads it off in the 7th inning. He is 0 for 3, reaching on an error in the 5th. Fouls it for strike 1. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Nolan Fontana continues to do well after being drafted in June by the Astros in the 2nd round. Had 2 hits, an RBI, 2 walks last night. So he has an on-base average of .481 in his first 34 games for Lexington. He moved up to the South Atlantic League June 15th, and he leads all players since then in that league in on-base average. 3 balls and a strike. Carlos Correa was promoted recently to Greenville, and he hit his first home run last night since his promotion from the Gulf Coast League. Played in 6 games at Greenville. Fly ball to left, and Maxwell just watching this one go into the seats. Wheeler hits his first as a major leaguer. We'll try to get that ball for him. Run number 11 for the D-backs. As Wheeler goes deep, he made his debut and got his first hit against the Astros in Arizona. Now hits his first major league homer against them.
And we talk a lot about right-handed hitters on visiting teams coming here trying to hook the ball into the Crawford boxes and how it works against them. But for a left-handed hitter, trying to shoot the ball the other way is a really solid approach. So just having a good solid approach middle away really benefits left-handed hitters, and the Diamondbacks doing a nice job tonight. Parra, Montero, Wheeler all effectively driving the ball the other way.
Strike to Corbin. Corbin has struck out 3 times in this game. Big moment for Ryan Wheeler. It's 1-1. Sitting next to Chris Johnson. That's 2 homers for the D-backs tonight.
Got the old silent treatment on him.
Fly ball near the line and left. Maxwell running out of room. Reaches up and he snags it. Good catch by Maxwell.
He almost got Bartman.
He almost did.
Consequences not quite as dire in this situation, but the fan reaches over and J-Mac's able to haul it in.
Oh, he out-jumped the fan. Parra doubled in the 5th inning and scored. He's 1 for 4. Parra takes ball 1. It's the civil rights game with the Dodgers playing the Braves, and LA leads it 6-1. Bottom of the 7th inning. Loney, Cruz, and Ramirez has hit 2. Hanley now has 18. And the Dodgers and Giants still neck and neck. Dodgers currently 1/2 game behind San Francisco. Bouncer back to Fick. Tossing to Pierce. 2 outs.
First major league home run for Wheeler, and here's the reception. He's doing the pantomiming, the high fives. Boys just flat out blowing him off. And even got the cop in there, and everybody's in on the act.
Good stuff. Fun time. Aaron Hill was not greeted that way. After his 3-run homer in the 6th inning, he's 1 for 3 with a walk. Ball 1 to Hill. Ike Davis hit his 22nd home run, and the Mets lead Washington 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike. John Roush in the game now in relief, trying to preserve the Mets lead. Strike makes it 1-2. They're delayed in Anaheim because of a ceremony of some sort. Tampa Bay waiting to bat in the top of the 1st against C.J. Wilson. It's 2-2. Phillies lead 4-1 in Milwaukee. They've played 6. Mayberry hit his 10th. Kratz his 6th. In Milwaukee, Ramos Ramirez number 17. It's banged into center field on a line. Aaron Hill gets hit number 2. 11 hits for Arizona tonight. D-backs have really beaten up on Astros pitching. .336 team batting average against Houston for the first 4 games of the series. More of the same tonight. Upton has 2 of their hits, and he's driven in a run, 2 for 4. Miami and Nate Eovaldi is leading at Colorado 6-1 in the 4th inning, with Stanton having hit his 24th. Giants and Padres 1-1 after 2.5 in San Diego. Barry Zito on the hill for San Francisco. Moore to second, and he gets it to Altuve in time for the force on Hill. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 left in the 7th inning for Arizona. It's 11-4. Earlier in the game, it's brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's Miller time with the swing of Chris Snyder against Arizona with the 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Number 6 of the year. Now he comes up here in the home 7th inning with the Astros trailing 11-4. They've been out hit 11-7, and Snyder's 1 for 2 in the game.
Corbin doing a real nice job with this big lead, working aggressively, using an economy of pitches, and that really helps Kirk Gibson set up his bullpen not only for tonight but for tomorrow as well. It's number 77, 78 for Corbin now, so Gibson can stay with him as long as he wants.
Corbin missing there, falls behind 2-1. Last year's staff mainstay Ian Kennedy goes tomorrow against Armando Galarraga with a 105 start here. That's it for this homestand. 3 balls and a strike. Monday's an off day. The Astros travel on that day to St. Louis. 80 pitches for Patrick Corbin, shooting for win number 5 of the year. That's smacked on a line. Chris Young is there in center. And it's out number 1 with Reiner Cruz warming up for Houston and Fernando Martinez coming up to pinch hit.
Snyder's been on the ball all night long. 3 very good swings. Deep fly ball to left, home run, and now this line out to center field.
Fernando Martinez with a 121 average in 10 games has 1 homer, 5 runs batted in for Fernando. He went 1 for 8 on the road trip to Chicago, including a home run. 0 for 1 Wednesday. He takes that one for strike 1. He's been seeing some time in left field, and earlier this year played some right field for the Astros. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Brad Bergeson warming up for Arizona. That's pulled, and a diving play by Goldschmidt. Very well done. 2 outs. Looked like a hit off the bat for Fernando. Ball was hit sharply, but Goldschmidt got going quickly.
Do it all, can he?
He really can.
Runs a little bit too.
Stole third last night. Has 12 steals in 14 tries. Corbin walked Jose Altuve to open the game for the Astros. No walks since then for Corbin. So that's how he's getting deep into this game. A lot of run support. Altuve doubled to right in the 3rd. He's grounded out in the 5th. He's back from ball 1 with Tyler Green on deck. And Bergeson at work. Cubs 8, Reds 2. Bottom of the 6th inning. Foul ball makes it a 1-1 count.
Todd Redmond was the starting pitcher for the Reds tonight.
Oh, he's the guy who broke the string. They'd used only 5 starting pitchers, but with a doubleheader, they went with number 6 of the year tonight.
He came over from the Braves in the deal that sent Paul Yanish to Atlanta. This was Redmond's major league debut. He was 8-9 with a 3.54 ERA at AAA.
Altuve's down on strikes. That's number 5 for Corbin. Through 7, it's 11-4 Arizona. For Astros Live, 105 start for the Astros and D-backs. It's Ian Kennedy with a 10-10 record. It's Armando Galarraga. He's 0-3. Tomorrow, join us at 12:30 for Astros Live. We go to inning number 8, and Brad Mills has made some changes. New second baseman, new pitcher. Scott Moore's in the game. At second base, Jose Altuve coming out after going 1 for 3 with a walk. And on the mound, Reiner Cruz will be pitcher number 4 for the Astros tonight with a 1-1 record, a 7.14 ERA.
He's got 4, 5, 6 coming up for the Diamondbacks. Goldschmidt, Montero, and Young. All 3 of those guys having nice nights at the plate. As just about everybody in this Diamondback lineup is. It's on to St. Louis, as Brownie mentioned, after the off day on Monday. Harrell, Norris, and Keuchel for the Astros. Wainwright, Loesch, Westbrook for the Cardinals in that 3-game series.
Goldschmidt has an RBI in this game, and one of the 11 hits, going 1 for 3 with a walk. It's out in front of that one, and he fouls it for strike 1.
This is a pretty good lesson in extra base hits and bunching your hits. The Astros had 11 hits last night, but they managed just 1 run. Diamondbacks 11 hits tonight, 11 runs, a 9-run 5th inning.
Kind of weird on the pitching lines because of the error in that inning. Jordan Lyles, 4 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned. Cedeno, 2/3 of an inning, no hits, 2 runs, no earned. Chucky Fick went 2 1/3. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs with a walk and a strikeout. Cruz blows that one by Goldschmidt, and it's 1-2. Goldschmidt hit a long home run August 15th. 3 days ago at St. Louis, longest by an opponent this year of the Cardinals in their home ballpark, 456 feet. Powerful young man.
You know, and if you need to beat Tim Lincecum, he's your guy. 7 for 13 is Goldschmidt off Lincecum with 4 home runs.
They'll probably meet again before the year's out. Three and 2 now for Ryder Cruz. He worked a scorer's inning Tuesday night in Chicago.
That's just incredible. That 4 home runs off 1 guy, and you've had 13 at bats against him.
Yeah, especially that guy.
Yeah, because some of that he did when Tim Lincecum was still Tim Lincecum before he's morphed into whatever he is now. And I'm not betting against Lincecum coming back, but boy, it's been a rough stretch for him.
Sure has. Strikeout for Ryder Cruz takes care of out number 1. Now Montero. He has a double and 2 walks tonight. Red Sox have topped the Yankees 4-1. John Lester with a win, going to 7-10, beating David Phelps. He's 3-4. That's foul. There's strike 1. Red Sox now 3 games under 500. San Diego is leading San Francisco 4-1. They've played 3 in San Diego. Chase Headley hit his 20th.
Man, he is on fire.
Yeah. Well, there were rumors that they were shopping him. They're looking good for keeping him now. They have new ownership. Tyler Green backhands. A little hesitation, but the arm is strong enough to take care of out number 2. Hitting Montero.
Yeah, Padres sales been approved. $800 million. Peter O'Malley's boys heading that group.
Phil Mickelson's part of that group. They had to get a group well heeled enough to pay Brad Ausmus and Mark Loretta.
Yeah, no kidding. Cushy consultant jobs that those guys have.
Chris Young's 3 for 4 with 2 runs batted in.
Traipsing around the country in an RV and surfing. What kind of racket is that?
That's a pretty good one if you can get it. Next ball 1.
We forgot to ask Brad last night when we had him on about his gig managing the Israeli national team.
Oh, yeah, we did forget.
World Baseball Classic. I guess there's a qualifying tournament this fall that they've got to get through.
Yeah. Two balls, no strikes. Brad could be a Mike Matheny type guy someday, don't you think? Skip right to Major League managing without managing in the minors.
Sure. He might be better served to manage in the minors or do a little time as a bench coach. But yeah, he could probably handle it. If you have a good staff around you, I think that's the key.
Absolutely. You know, Ryan Sandberg has been plying his trade in the minor leagues for years now. He was hoping to get the Cubs job after managing from A-ball, working his way up to AAA. But when he didn't get that, they hired Mike Quaddy, and he moved on to the Phillies organization. He's managing Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs for them right now. Strike makes it 3-1 to Young. And by all accounts, he's done a nice job. He would be the first guy since Ted Williams to become a manager after being named to the Hall of Fame. There's a shot to left field, and Young has hit this one out to give him his 4th hit. That's 13 homers for Young. It's his 3rd RBI of the night, giving him 34. And what a night for Chris Young, 4 for 5. 3rd home run by Arizona.
He does like to come home.
That'll lift his average above 400 lifetime at Minute Maid Park.
He's hitting everything. Breaking balls, fastballs, up, down, in, out. Doesn't matter.
They're loving it. 12-4 now with Stephen Drew batting. Fouls at strike 1. He got a bases loaded walk RBI in the 5th inning. See, Chris Young in his career at Minute Maid Park was hitting .386 coming into this game. 4 for 5 tonight makes him 26 for 62. 5 homers, 20 runs batted in this ballpark. Chris Young. No balls, 2 strikes to Stephen Drew. And people would say, well, the Astros should trade for him then. Is that good here at Minute Maid Park?
All right, I'd endorse that.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Washington's batting in the bottom of the 9th, trailing the Mets 2-0. Frank Francisco's in the game for New York. He just came off the disabled list. And he's facing Ryan Zimmerman with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. Don't count Washington out of winning that one. Drew is caught looking, and that ends the top of the 8th with a Young home run, giving him his 4th hit of this game. And the Diamondbacks lead it 12-4. replay. We take a look back at Tyler Green, right in his wheelhouse. And Green goes deep for the 6th time this year. One of 2 Astro long balls tonight. Chris Snyder hit the other one, a 2-run shot in the 4th. It's 12-4 Arizona. Kirk Gibson making a couple of changes. One is the catcher. Will Nieves takes over for Miguel Montero. The other one is the pitcher. Right-handed Brad Ferguson takes the ball for the bottom of the 8th.
Well, outstanding job by the rookie Corbin tonight, and Ferguson with Arizona. Just 5 appearances. So far he's pitched well. Picked up via waiver claim from Baltimore on July 20th. He's working at AAA for the Orioles this year. Was 4-3 with an ERA of 4 there.
Ball 1 to Green, who has 2 hits and 2 runs batted in. That's 2-0 to Tyler. Corbin finished by retiring the last 7 men he faced in 7 innings. He allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Walked the first man he faced, and that was it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tell you what, after looking at Miley for the 2nd time this season last night and Corbin tonight, it's easy to see why the Diamondbacks are excited about their future in the rotation. Bouncer third goes foul. 2-2. They've got the youngster Tyler Skaggs, age 20, another left-handed starter. They've got Trevor Bauer, first-round draft choice, pitching well now at AAA. He's been up with the big league club this year and has struggled, but nonetheless a bright moment they feel in their future will be provided by Trevor Bauer. Fly ball to right field. Upton backing on the track. 1 down. Green's 2 for 4 tonight. Now it's Pierce. Pierce 1 for 3. Well, the Giants losing the hard-hitting Melky Cabrera. Dodgers have fortified themselves, but it looks as if D-backs are in the race. They're not going away. So head-to-head play will have a lot to say about who makes it to the playoffs in the NL West. Strike to Pierce. Dodgers leading right now 6-1, bottom of the 8th in Atlanta. Young goes back in center. 2 outs.
Cardinals beat Pittsburgh tonight 5-4. Cardinals, after dropping 2 one-run games, have won one here tonight, and that's been a problem for them. They lost the finale of their 3-game series with the Diamondbacks 2-1, got beat by the Pirates 2-1 last night, and now knock off Pittsburgh 5-4 tonight. As you look at the Western Division standings, figures to be a good race.
Yeah, especially those giant Dodger games with the heated rivalry they've had down through the years. Maxwell's 0 for 3. There's ball 1 to him.
Now, the Giants used a video of Dodger fans voting for Dodger players for the All-Star game to rally the vote in San Francisco. So look what these people are doing down in Southern California. They're voting for their own guys. Folks in San Francisco went nuts. But half the team on the All-Star team, including Melky Cabrera. See, if I'm the American League, I claim foul play. He was the MVP of the All-Star game, and he was juicing. They need to reverse the results of the All-Star game and give it to the American League.
Interesting. There's a shot to right field. Upton backing on this one. Another trip to the warning track. Another out. And after 8, it's 12-4 Arizona.
things always aren't this dismal. You can follow them when things are happier with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. You can get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @Bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com for more details. Fellas?
Thanks, Craig. 20,838, the attendance on a Saturday night. They've watched the Diamondbacks ride the big fifth inning with 9 runs coming home in that frame to a 12-4 lead. Reiner Cruz facing Ryan Wheeler leading off the ninth. Wheeler has a homer and 4 trips. Also reached on an error, and he scored twice. There's ball 1. Kevin Eschenfelder is hearing from the fans about his conversation with Jeff Luhnow, along with Steve Sparks, talking with the Astros GM on Astros Live tonight before the game. People wanted them to ask about Cozart, Grossman, and Seaton. They couldn't ask about everybody on that show. Jared Cozart on the disabled list. We talked about him earlier with blister problems, but Brad Mills was saying that they still have high hopes for him in the organization. And hopefully they still see him as a starting pitcher. They can get him back in the rotation, hopefully, before the end of the year. See how much they can stretch him out. And I asked Brad, well, with the blister problems, he's been on the DL twice now with that same problem this year. Would you have a tendency to think of him more now as a reliever? He said, no, we want him to start, but hopefully we can solve those issues. And from what we're hearing, it's blisters on like 3 different fingers of the pitching hand, which is fairly unusual, JD.
Yeah, it is. I never had any problems with blisters.
No?
No. Probably didn't throw hard enough. Didn't create enough friction.
Yeah. I think you did. 3-1. Ross Seaton has pitched well since he was promoted to AAA. Brad Mills mentioned his name tonight. Wheeler takes a leadoff walk. I think there's a chance that Ross could wind up in the big leagues by the end of this year, but a lot, of course, hangs in the balance, and the Astros really aren't getting into individual names right now for September call-ups.
Ross, the lefty who pitched at Second Baptist.
He's 6'8", I believe, JD.
Is he really? It's ironic because he was 6-8 at AA.
Oh, okay.
With a 4.41 ERA.
Will Nieves, the catcher, comes up for the first time. He did the catching in last night's game. Fouls it back, strike 1.
Has a 3.09 ERA through 4 starts at AAA. Pitching staff at Oklahoma City has a 5.17 ERA, but again, that league has been crazy this year.
Yeah. Nieves went 1 for 3 last night, scored a run. And he's giving Montero a little blow here at the end of this one. Swing and a miss there by Nieves. And it's 0-2 for Reiner Cruz. The Corpus Christi team will be a playoff team this year. Swing and a miss there by Nieves, and he's down on strikes. Number 3 for Reiner Cruz. Let's see, Jordan Lyles, 21. Then you look at Oberholzer. We heard his name. He's a possible September call-up. Ross Seaton. Rudy Owens came from the Pirates in the trade for Wandy. And you see some of the others who came in those recent deals, young pitchers.
Wojciechowski came from Toronto, I believe, and Rasmussen also acquired. Heidenreich, all those guys coming over in those deals.
Really added to the pitching depth in the system. And Jeff Luhnow said there were, I think, 15 players acquired in those trades in July. Prospects, he said it was almost like having a second draft this year. Parra is 1 for 5, a double. So, no, I'm wrong. Ross Seaton is 6'4".
But he plays 6'8".
He seemed taller than
he's
that.
a good rebounder. It's like Charles Barkley.
Yeah, deep drive to right center. Extra bases here. That's a double. A fan reached over and touched it. And that's a long double for Parra. Wheeler came around to score, but he'll go back to third. And he didn't score as Parra gets his second double of the night. That's his 16th of the year.
The first double was off the scoreboard in front of the Crawford boxes. This time he drives this ball to right center field. My goodness, did he put a swing on that fastball from Reiner Cruz. One of the better balls we've seen hit tonight.
Wound up at somebody's table.
That fan got a piece of it but couldn't corral it. Ball is dead.
Jake Elmore is hitting for Aaron Hill. Hill had a 3-run homer, a walk, and a single. Elmore started last night at shortstop. He's back from ball one. Elmore was 0 for 4 in last night's game. Just called up to the majors. He is 2 for 9 as a big leaguer. His first start at St. Louis 3 days ago, he went 2 for 4 with a double. He was hitting .344 at AAA Reno for Brett Butler. 2 balls, no strikes. Had 30 doubles, 9 triples. Drove in 73 runs with only 1 homer. He walked 74 times and scored 95 runs. He was a PCL All-Star from Arizona State. Willie Bloomquist became the first Arizona State player to play for the D-backs. He's on the disabled list right now. And this guy, Elmore, is number 2. 2 balls and a strike.
Interesting, when we were in Chicago, there was a lot of talk about Starlin Castro being in Dale Swaim's doghouse for some of the mental mistakes he's made in the field and on the bases. And it's a kind of a continuing story. It happened with Mike Quade the last couple of seasons. But the Cubs, they feel really good about Castro. They signed him to a 7-year contract extension worth $60 million.
Wow, let's all get in that doghouse.
It's a good doghouse.
It tossed him quite a bone. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Elmore.
At 22 years of age, he was projected to be one of those Super 2 players eligible for salary arbitration. So this deal will gobble up his arbitration eligibility years plus 3 years of free agency, and has a $16 million option for 2020.
That's a walk to Elmore.
It's going to be a very interesting deal to follow over the years to get a sense of the value of it, because Castro is a very talented guy, but if he doesn't learn how to play the game, I don't know that he's going to be worth it.
Well, exactly. And the fact that he now is financially secure may work against the Cubs. It just depends on how much drive he has to become a better player.
Yeah, so you get the sense that they like the kid, that
Right.
even though he makes the mental mistakes and all that he's a good kid, and they trust that he's going to work hard and do the things that he needs to do to get better.
Yeah, and that's the real grasp of the management decision there. What kind of a person are we dealing with here?
There's a tendency to link mental mistakes in baseball with a guy being lazy or not hard, and that's not necessarily the case. There's plenty of guys that are hard workers that they just, they're plagued by making bad decisions on the field.
Upton with a crack bat grounder. Tyler Green stepping on second, throwing to first for a double play. And in the ninth, it's no runs a hit and a couple of men left, and we go to the bottom of the ninth, 12-4 Arizona.
scowls among the fans, but not this guy. Check this night out here. In the 5th inning, this ball is popped foul. And that guy right there, Johnny on the spot to make the play. In the 6th inning, for good measure, another one. How about that? Boy, I hope you bought a lottery ticket today. Enough to share.
Good seat selection. 12-4 now. And here's Elmore staying in play second after pinch hitting for Hill. And Zagurski is pitcher number 3. Mike Zagurski, a left-hander who came up with the Phillies, traded to Arizona last September. Has no decisions with an ERA of 6.18.
Bronco Zagurski.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good slider, if memory serves me right. I don't think we saw him in that series in Arizona, did we?
He pitched July 22nd, 1 hitless inning.
I probably wasn't paying attention.
Well, that was an 8-2 ball game, and they had a couple of blowout wins in that series, as you well remember. Francisco, the first man to face him, he's 0 for 3. There's strike 1.
Well, he's drafted him in the 12th round out of the University of Kansas.
One ball, one strike. See, the Diamondbacks have outscored the Astros now in this season series 48-18. So they have had some routes. Foul back right next door. Luis Gonzalez missed the play. He couldn't quite reach it. He would have had it, but he was seated. And so Greg Schulte wound up with it as Gonzo let it go to the back of the booth. And today, he drove in 6 as the Cubs down the Rockies 26-7 in a game featuring a 2.5-hour rain delay. Foul away, and it's 1-2. What a great guy. It's nice to have him back. Number 20 retired by the D-backs August 7th, 2010.
He's making excuses right now, talking about how he couldn't make the play.
That was a good core group of Astros when he came up. Francisco strikes out looking. And he was an Astro twice in his career.
Might have been off, but close enough, and Zagurski got the call.
Now Brett Wallace, who has 2 hits and 3 at-bats, tries to get aboard with Barnes on deck. Gonzo was talking about when he got traded in '95 to the Cubs by the Astros. And then he came back to Houston. And he really exploded in Arizona with the home runs. Strike to Wallace. Gonzo said his first 9 years he played on 1-year contracts. No balls, 2 strikes. Cubs lead 8-6 at Cincinnati. They've played 7. Ludwig hit another home run, his second of the game, 25th of the year. So the Reds are within range with that Cubs bullpen. Kansas City's blasting the White Sox 9-4, bottom of the 8th at Kansas City. Moustakas hit his 19. Hosmer is 11. Adam Dunn, number 35 for the White Sox. Paul Konerko, number 20.
Talk about playing the whole game. How about the effort by Nieves to block that pitch in the dirt with nobody on base in a 12-4 game?
Yeah.
My goodness. Like the winning run was on third base in the 7th game of the World Series.
That's like Mike Matheny. He used to do that between innings, warming up the pitcher, just to keep his habits where he wanted them. That's line to center field. Young over. 2 outs. And Brandon Barnes will be up. He's 0 for 3.
0 for 3, but a sparkling play in center field. much matter now in an 8-run game, but at the time it was a big play.
Yeah. Well, this game involved the big inning. 9 runs in the 5th for Arizona. It's hard to overcome that. Barnes trying to reach here with Chris Snyder on deck. Chris Young will get another one. And the Diamondbacks have won the first 2 in this series. They capture this one with that 9-run 5th. Final score, Arizona 12, Houston 4, as Corbin beats Lyles tonight.